Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting her revenge at Donald Trump now that at least 3 million Epstein documents have been released that are absolutely devastating to Donald Trump and other right-wing oligarchs who are friends with Donald Trump. We still believe the Department of Justice is withholding at least 3 million more documents from the Epstein files. But the 3 million that have been released, thanks to the pressure of the public forcing these to be released, has been devastating to Donald Trump and his regime. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene has posted the following. Well, based on files released and then deleted, I'd say the odds went up on bombing Iran. It is Friday, after all. And she's referring to these documents which were posted and deleted, and the BNC News 24 network was the first to show these documents publicly. And then we were the first to call out that the Trump regime deleted these documents. And then, after there was public pressure because we exposed the fact that they deleted them, they then put them back up later in the day. And you can check out the document on our Substack, meatplus.com. Go and check it out right now. Here's what we posted earlier in the day. The new Epstein Files production features numerous allegations made against Donald Trump and others. Then you take a look at what some of these allegations were, and they are heinous. It says, reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. Another person says Jane Doe. These are all allegations, by the way. I'm not saying they're corroborated, but these are in the files. They are these allegations, whether they're corroborated or not corroborated, and then the DOJ deleted it and then put it back up. Jane Doe reported that she has a friend, Jane Doe, who was a personal assistant to Epstein in Florida from 1986 until 1991 or 1992. This friend shared the names of some guests of Epstein parties to include Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Next one. At age 16, while modeling, Collar attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, Collar reported that she was sexually assaulted by Epstein. Then it says, on another occasion, 2 twin brothers, she said, lured her. And there's this email right here. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in, and Trump would auction them off. These allegations state he measured the children's vulva and vaginas by entering. I mean, it's really horrific stuff in here. You can go and read them on mustplus.com. And then there's another email right here, sent between the FBI agents, and these are FBI agent emails to other FBI agents, including the following allegations. And it says, subject, regarding Epstein's cellmate interview. So these have something to do with a cellmate interview. Hello, please see below for summaries. And this comes from Cellmate Interviews. And here's what was said about Donald Trump. Jane Doe stated Epstein introduced her to Trump, who subsequently forced her head down his exposed penis, which is subsequently bit. In response, Trump punched her in the head and kicked her out. Another allegation. Jane Doe remembers Epstein introduced her to Trump saying, "This is a good one, huh?" And Trump responded, "Yeah." There's also in these files that were released, I'll pull it open right here, what's called an FBI 302 report. This is a witness interview with FBI agents. Here's what it says. Jane Doe never dated Donald Trump. Maxwell took Jane Doe to a party in New York. Maxwell seemed very excited that there would be a lot of great men for Jane Doe to meet. Jane Doe felt that Maxwell presented her and gave a rundown of so-and-so's accolades, similar to a CV. Maxwell presented Jane Doe to Trump, and they had a conversation for approximately 20 minutes. Jane Doe was invited to Mar-a-Lago, where she was given a tour by Trump with Epstein and Maxwell present. Nothing happened between Jane Doe and Trump. By the things that Maxwell said, it was made clear that so-and-so was available. Maxwell said things like, "Oh, I think he likes you. Aren't you lucky? This is great." There was an article that came out with Jane Doe and Trump. Jane Doe thought she was around 22 years old. Jane Doe was given suggestions on things to wear. Maxwell said things like, "Oh, he'll like that. He doesn't like that." It was set up, very much like how Maxwell introduced others to Epstein. And then Jane Doe said she feared Maxwell. She viewed Maxwell as sociopathic, and she feared Maxwell could kill her if Maxwell was not convicted. More from Marjorie Taylor Greene right here. She posted this video of herself dropping the following bombshells on Trump, and also saying that she believed that Epstein, that in the files it would show that Epstein had links to the MSAD in Israel. Here, play this clip.
Let's talk about the Epstein files. The real information has not come out. We've been told so many lies on this. There were only 4 Republicans, 4 of us, that really fought to get him released, signed the discharge petition, went against the White House, and we were all threatened, and you all saw what happened to me. Finally, Donald Trump called me a traitor. He told me that his friends would get hurt. And to me, I'm like, I don't know why you would be
friends with anyone that would do this to women and teenage girls. The Epstein files need to come out. They're breaking the law that Donald Trump signed. And so, if the administration doesn't release it all, I can't imagine why anybody would vote for Republicans. To me, it's like a line in the sand. And I think it's that way for a lot of people. Why do you think they're hiding them? I think it's because it protects some of the most rich, powerful people. I think we know Jeffrey Epstein was definitely some sort of part of the intelligence state. I think we know he was working with Israel. He was working closely with Israel, the former prime minister of Israel. And I think these are the dirty parts of government and the powers that be that they don't want the American people to know about. Sadly, I don't think it'll come out. And we did see in the files that were released the fact that Epstein was emailing the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, saying that Epstein had a meeting with the leaders of Qatar, and if Ehud Barak could let them know. And then Epstein did a smile face emoji that he was not a member of the MSAD. And then he did like smiley face emoji, like he was being sarcastic. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting her final revenge on Donald Trump right now and talking about the broader cabal right here. I mean, take a look at this exchange, as Sarah Longwell writes, where Epstein appears to be coaching Steve Bannon on language that allows Trump to be seen in total control. This appears in different times throughout the files that were released. Epstein's name is redacted in one, and Bannon seems to be in another. So the redactions were done very sloppy here. Talking about the Trump cabal here, Elon Musk sent the following in an actual email to Epstein. What day night will be the wildest party on your island? This is a real email from Elon Musk to Jeffrey Epstein. What daylight will be the wildest party on your island? So remember, Elon Musk was like, oh, I would never visit that. I would never visit that. Also, you have this tweet by Elon Musk addressing allegations that Jeffrey Epstein toured SpaceX. Appears to be a lie. Back on July 4th of 2020, Elon Musk writes, "To the best of our knowledge, he never toured SpaceX." But we have this email right here of Jeffrey Epstein telling Elon Musk, "Thanks for the tour. You would have had fun at Christmas." And then Elon Musk goes, "I see." Smiley face emoji right there. And then there's a lot of other her in a 2012 email chain. Kamel Musk, the brother of Elon Musk, was warned not to harm Jeffrey Epstein's girl, identified as Jennifer. And Kamel responds by agreeing and says he's enjoying the time with her. Or here you have Epstein talking to the New York Giants football team owner, Steve Tisch, about setting him up with a girl. then asking to accompany him on a walk with Jet's owner, Woody Johnson. That's right there. And they're talking about a young Ukrainian girl and whether she's a pro or a civilian and whether she's a working girl. In a different email, Epstein followed up with Tish after he'd connected with one of the women. Report just in. You did very well. She wants to go to the play. She's a little freaked by the age difference, but go slow. I will try to convince her not to return to Ukraine, having her crying at work. Also, I'll do another video on this. Howard Lutnick, who's very high up, is the Commerce Secretary. He's like all over these files, by the way. And as Sarah Longwell says, seems like the Trump administration has decided on their fall guy. You have Howard Lutnick and Epstein seeking each other's advice on who a nanny is, a resume for Lutnick's nanny. There are messages about Lutnick going to the island. There's messages about Epstein giving $50,000 for an award that Lutnick received. So, seems right now you have Marjorie Taylor Greene having the last laugh, and she's declaring her final revenge of Donald.